on today. The old 9.9 Mercury outboard. People that have these know they're cold-blooded. So I'm gonna try. I've been thinking of a way to get this to cooperate a little better when we go out, especially when it's cold. You get out at a higher elevation and this thing's just miserable to start. So first I'm gonna just try to start it, let everybody see what it does, and then we'll work on a solution. That's what you'll get. Even down here, when it's nice, it's warm. It was running yesterday, last night. But if it sits for a little while, that's what it does. You'll just repeat that. You'll start it up, it'll run for a second, and it'll stop. That's even with the idle up a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'll take the hood off and I'll show you my plan for getting this to work. Okay, I've heard a lot of different theories on this, on how to get them to run. A lot of guys just are over it, and they're just getting a newer version of it. If it had a choke, like an older outboard, it wouldn't be bad, but we don't. It just has the accelerator pump on the bottom of the carb with that diaphragm. So what I usually do, what I've been trying to do, is I'll get up and I'll just go maybe 2-3 times, crank it to fast, then go back to neutral start, and it'll run a little better. Keep a little bit more fuel in there. Eventually, it'll just stop again. And sometimes when it's real cold, you get up there in the fall or early spring and you're like 10 plus times doing this before it'll actually idle. So if you have the hood off, this is what you can do. You can access that little throttle. Sit there for a little bit and get it to warm up. Anyway, you can see the concept. But what my plan is, I want to attach just a wire to this. This was my first thought. One of these, because it already has a finger hole in it. Just tie a wire in here, and then I'm going to run it through here where the cables go. And then when I'm out there, I can start it, and then I can just sit and adjust it till it warms up, and then let go, and that'll just ride there. That's what I did. I didn't like this because it's going to be rubbing on that rubber boot and that bushing. So I took a piece of stainless TIG wire and just looped something up. Now I'm gonna put it through there. Now it's not gonna be rubbing on that and eating that boot. And the plan is I'm either going to zip tie it or put a little hose clamp around right here. Then we should be able to start it and just adjust that throttle as needed until it warms up, and just let her go and go about your day. Once these things start, they run like a top. I love them. But when we had this on the back of the pontoon and it's out farther, or even here on this little boat, when you're up there, you can't reach over there and take the hood off and sit there and just in order to hold that and get it to warm up and then put the hood back on. The pontoon was pretty much, you can even reach the back of it because it sat down so far. So I'll get everything ready and then we'll see if we can get this on there, see if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to find out together. I'll try to keep my hands out of the way as much as possible. Take that little throttle linkage off. I found an old hose clamp. It's not as small as I'd like. I have to go over it maybe. But I think it'll work. I'm afraid with a zip tie we're gonna be fighting it, just coming undone or something. Put that there. I don't know how well that'll actually tighten. Should hold it. Maybe I'll just bend the end of this over to where it can't come back and out. Doesn't need much, I don't think. This stainless steel TIG wire sure likes to bend easy though, right? I think that's all it needs. Just something to hold it back. Turn that out. Guess I should have clocked that a little better. Snugged up. It'd be better with a smaller hose clamp. I just don't have one. For some reason, I'm gonna have to make a purchase, I guess. Maybe I will. We'll see how this works first. We're actually gonna sell this boat, so I won't be using it that much, but whoever buys it will be able to. Oh yeah, I like that. Make sure it doesn't affect anything else. Still, if you go thinner wire, this is a 16th, so it'll still allow it to bow a little bit, and you can work your throttle like normal and everything else. And that's still free. Okay, we'll throw the hood on it and see what happens. wished I'd thought of something like this a while ago. That's where I put it through, just right between the cables, and just hooks it onto that and put a hose clamp on it. Pretty simple. And for those that are asking, well, why don't you just throttle it up when you start it? Well, on this one, it has to be in that neutral position. And the second you go past it to increase, it engages your prop forward or reverse. So there's no way to control the throttle. I think that's going to be a hit. So we'll get this all put back together and go from there. I guess I should have spent a little more time on the loop. I just kind of wanted to see if it was going to work. Maybe I'll do a little bit nicer one, bring it around and take it together to where it's actual loop. Figure out how big you want it. You know, if it's cold and you have gloves on, you're going to want that a little bigger. But okay, I appreciate you watching. If you learned something or if you like this, give me a like, give me a follow, and we'll keep putting these little videos together. Thanks for watching.